So, you've started up Duck Game and loaded in, and what now? So you've started the game. Hit the start button, which defaults to escape, as you can see on the top. After you've done this, a duck will pop down in the center of the screen and the top will say press space to play. Do not do this. Duck Game's main menu is not like most games which have a list of options to select from. In Duck Game, you have to actually move your character around. So of course, you'll eventually figure out how to move using the WASD keys. This wouldn't really be mystifying if you ever played a PC game before though, because that setup is used quite a lot. The 5 options you're given are the library, the editor, the options, the option to quit, and the option to start the game. If you wanted to get to, say, the options, then we must simply move out of the beam and walk into this spring to bounce high enough to reach the options. After you're there, hit the default button, space, to open the options up. Say, now that we're here, how about we talk about scroll down to the edit controls option. See this? You'll have to change pretty much everything here, except for chat. Why is this setup so bad? For starters, up and jump are bound to the same key. Usually, up doesn't do anything in gameplay, but allows you to throw objects upwards and to the left, or upwards and to the right. Now, tell me this, what if you wanted to throw something without jumping? That would be impossible with this setup. So the first thing you want to do is have up, down, left, and right all the way from the other button so you can comfortably move with one of your hands. I recommend having this set to the arrow keys. Next, you have to change pretty much everything else, except for chat. The setup I use personally is start as escape, jump as space, grab as Z, trip as S, fire as X, strafe as C, quack as V, and accept as F. However, this is just my setup and what works for me personally. Anyone can use any setup that they desire as long as it works for them and is practical. Also, just in case you screw up the controls too badly, hit the tilde button or umlaut O if you're using a German keyboard. Then type in -default controls, no spaces, and enter it in to reset your controls to the default. However, what if you're using the controller for this game? Well, I'm pretty sure that if you're going to be a controller player, you can just use the default controls because this game was actually designed with controller in mind. Now, let's actually discuss what each of these controls do. Left and right are self-explanatory. They move the character left and right. Up doesn't have any significant movement changes that I know of, but we'll talk more about it later. Down makes the character duck, no pun intended, downwards. If the character is moving left or right before hitting down, it will cause them to slide. Your duck is usually only able to fit through vertical gaps that are 2 blocks wide, but with sliding, you can bring that down to 1. If you get stuck in between the floor and the ceiling in a slide, you can mash left and right to get out faster. The start button usually just gets you past the title screen, pauses the game, or opens up a new room. The accept button allows you to choose options in the menus or begin games. The jump key, well, allows you to jump. Holding it longer makes you jump higher. Also, if you hit jump on top of a platform while holding down, you'll fall down through the platform. Hitting jump while holding down on the normal block just initiates a normal jump, just while crouching or sliding. The final mechanic of the jump is to begin fluttering in midair. This can be cancelled and redone multiple times. While fluttering, your gun aims upwards, allowing you to shoot enemies above you. I'll go more in depth as to why this is important in another video. Next, we have the grab button. The grab button allows you to grab and throw objects. Grabbing objects is self-explanatory, just walk near it and hit the key bound to grab. However, it's throwing objects that's a bit complicated. Throwing an object is just hitting the grab key again while already holding an object. There are multiple ways to throw an object. A weak throw is initiated by simply pressing the grab key while not holding any of the movement keys. This throws the object a bit forward in the area in front of you. It can be useful if you need to throw something, but don't have to throw it halfway across the map. The next type of throw, well, isn't really a throw. To drop an object, you just have to hold down and hit the grab button. This drops the object directly below you. If you're in midair, this lets you drop something directly downwards, letting you drop something on an enemy's head or off a ledge. Another type of throw is a strong throw. Holding left or right will throw your object a lot farther. This can be used to disarm an enemy, making them a lot more susceptible to being attacked. The final type of throw is the upwards throw. It's basically the same as dropping, but it throws upwards instead of downwards. It can be used as a less risky, but much more predictable and slower version of the drop, but this isn't too useful. The only use that it normally has is to get an object onto a higher ledge, or to be combined with the strong throw to make it throw the object higher. We also have the fire button to go over. This can be used to fire weapons or equip a hat, chest plate, or a pair of shoes. I'll go more in depth about armor later. Now, the trip key. It makes you a ragdoll, allowing you to play dead or be thrown off the map. However, it's a lot more useful than it seems, but I'll go over advanced techniques with tripping in a later video. Strafing is simple. While holding a strafe key, your character will face the same way that you're facing while initiating a strafe, whether you're moving left or right. This can be used to fire someone while simultaneously trying to flee from them. Quacking is mostly cosmetic, but it can also be used to get out of menus. Chat simply lets you chat with other ducks in the game. Oh, since we're on topic of chatting with other ducks in games, let's discuss... Now that you've made your controls not horrible and basically learned how to play while we were at it, it's time to actually play the game. There's two ways to join a game. A. Find a friend or three that also play Duck Game and ask if they want to play. B. If you either have no friends who want to play, have no friends period, or just hate your friends for some reason, then go back into the beam that you were at in the center and press the accept key. You'll be brought into this screen where you have to hit the start key and be placed into this room. Jump up into the area here. You'll see that there's a pane of glass blocking your way and that you can't just walk through. There are two ways to break it. One is to grab the gun and shoot at it, but the other, more stylish way is to slide through the glass. Both of these options work for glass in the actual game, but you'll find you'll prefer using down to go through glass more because it saves you a shot, doesn't give knockback, and is a lot faster. Once you've gone through the intense challenge of a glass pane, which is actually the game's own neat little way to teach you how to shoot, you will be presented with two options. Hit accept to go to the challenge arcade, a single player minigame collection where you beat challenges as well as you can, or you can also hit the grab key to play online. You can find a game, create a game, or browse a list of games and select one. Finding a game just randomly picks through the list of games and gives you one. Creating a game allows you to enable teams, add modifiers which you have to unlock in the arcade, change the maximum amount of players, change the map pool to enable custom maps, normal maps, random maps, or internet maps, and set the game to public, friends, or private. Browsing games lets you look at the list of public games and pick one with settings that you'd like. Okay, so as soon as you've joined or created a game, you can see this computer on the side opposite of the beam to your room. If you hit fire on this computer, you can choose a hat or edit your profile. Hitting accept on the choose hat option allows you to check a list of all the different hats that you own and pick one of them to use. Hitting fire on your profile name opens this menu. The top option works only in local games and it lets you select a profile to play on locally. Online, it's just your Steam username. This second option is a slider which controls how often your character swears when something is thrown at you. Left makes you swear less, while right does the opposite. The third option is just a temporary way to change your controls without going back to the main menu, and the fourth option is just to confirm your changes. After everyone jumps in the middle beam and the host begins a countdown, or the host just force starts by holding F1 and hitting his accept key, then the game begins. But wait, there's a few things that you need to know before you start off. Number 1, most guns have a limited ammo supply, meaning that after the limit is reached, you can't fire it anymore. In some guns, there's a way to know how close they are to being out, while with others, there's no way to know. You'll just have to memorize how many bullets each gun has out of experience. Number 2, a few guns are reloadable. This includes all shotguns, all snipers, the blunderbuss, the musket, the old pistol, the bazooka, and the snubby pistol. Out of these weapons, the musket, blunderbuss, bazooka, and old pistol all have infinite ammo, and the blunderbuss, musket, and bazooka force you to stand still on the ground while they're being reloaded. Number 3, some guns require to charge them before firing. This includes the death ray, the phaser, the chain gun and chain dart, the chainsaw, the grenade launcher and cannon, and the Roman candle. Number 4, there are many different wearable items in the game. There's the hat that you equip in the beginning, there's helmets that protect your head from damage one time, prevent you from getting crushed, there's grappling hooks and jetpacks which remove your ability to flutter but allow you to reach higher places, there's chest plates to protect your chest from damage once, And there's shoes which don't protect your feet but do allow you to jump on enemies to crush them, and if they're blue, allow you to wall jump. And finally, if we go back into the game, we can see number 5 in action pretty quickly. You will die. A lot. And you will not immediately start off good at the game. But that's fine. Nobody was good when they started off. Duck Game is just like any other game. You just need to practice. And eventually, start to get better at the game. You'll win more often. You'll figure out more tactics. And you learn specific quirks of the game's mechanics. And most importantly, you get to show off to all your new friends in Alaska you got so good at the game, and you'll show them this video to help them get better. Just kidding, you'll have the time of your life destroying them. Well, those are the basic mechanics of Duck Game. I'm planning on making this into a series where I slowly go into more advanced and specific tactics to help you guys improve further. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like, and if you want more like this, please subscribe. It helps a lot. Thank you.